This is the 2024 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Beer Experiment, Fruited American Wheat. Thanks to our sponsors. 5 Star Chemicals. Check out the interactive cleaning guides and learn more about their newest product, Liquid PBW, on their official website, www.5starchemicals.com. Beer and Wine Hobby Homebrew Supply Store. Beer and Wine has one of the biggest yeast selections around and boasts an extensive list of homebrew beer kits to make clones of some of your favorite beers. Check them out at www.beer-wine.com and tell them Brewtubers sent you in the order comment box. Let's get sipping.
Hello, YouTube. Kurt from Fermentation Adventures checking back in. Another fruit experiment video from the Brewtubers Fruit Experiment series. There is literally dozens of these out there right now at the time of recording this. By the time we're all said and done, we should be right around 90 something, if not 100. There's 10 of us. So do the math. There's gonna be a lot of videos. But I'm getting back on the horse doing my 5th review here now tonight on the very mysterious unlabeled bottle Beyond Strawberry Wheat 807. We are going to taste, we being the royal we or the royal me, will be tasting and giving you some thoughts on Andrew at Running on Beers experiment here. Not a lot of details were passed over. I do know he used some syrup, so it sounded like it was some, from what I recall from watching one of the other videos, it was a Da Vinci syrup, I believe it was called. Not sure the amount, but basically it was a syrup that had some strawberry in it, probably used for making, strawberry drinks, strawberry smoothies. He added it at kegging after stabilizing his beer using a typical beer stabilization procedure, metabisulfite probably, and some potassium sorbate as the typical process, and added the syrup, kegged this sucker up, and then bottled it for us to try. I'm looking at the bottle itself. It is pretty dang clear. I have shaken it up a little bit. Yeah, it's very clear if I put it up to my light over here, at least coming through the bottle. I am assuming there's some settling in the bottom, because again, this has been in the fridge for a while, letting everything settle out. If you haven't seen any of the other videos, my standard process is I'll pour most of this beer into the glass, give thoughts based on that initial pour, then I'll swirl up the dregs, add it to the beer. Typically that improves things about the beer. Doing that with some other brews here, and then we'll wrap it up here. So let's open it up and see what we got. Please no whammy, please no whammy. Again, it's just every time you open a bottle, I'm worried it's gonna be a gusher, but nice little hiss. Again, that's from, doing some judging. I'd assume we don't see as many gushers these days as they did back in the day, but it does happen. But yeah, nice little carbonation ring around the beer, and let's pour it into my wheat beer glass here and see if it comes. Oh wow, look at that color. A nice rose color, which I haven't seen on a lot of beers. Again, I think out of all the beers I can recall, it could have been in others. I just reviewed Dave's. Dave's was fairly yellow, and he used essentially pureed up some fresh strawberries and added it at Cold Crash. Most of the other ones kind of might have a hint of a pinkish hue, but not this really kind of rose colored tint to the overall beer itself. So that's really cool. Again, it's fairly clear. You can see my fingers through the glass, see the little logo sign, the real nice, beautiful foam with some kind of rocky bubbles on the top that's still kicking around and still persisting. Carbonation doesn't look too over the top, but it's obviously carbonated. I go in here for a sniff, and I'm kind of a little bit confused, to be honest with you. Interesting. I'm getting mostly what I'm smelling initially is just wheat beer. This is probably more than any of the other ones. Really getting more of what I would think of kind of a little bit of a hint of a ester from this. Some nice subtle fruity esters maybe. I definitely smell some of the kind of the breadiness of the malt and the wheat. Even getting a little bit of hops from this one. Just some more or less generic, I'd say some generic herbal touch floral maybe. Hop from this, still somewhat low, but it's there. Yeah, now I am smelling something I'm assuming is kind of the wheat character. Again, just after having Dave's beer here recently, just minutes ago, Dave's nose really, first sniff in the glass, really jumped out with a real fresh, true to berry strawberry aroma was coming right out of the glass. I'm not getting that with this. Yeah, there's not much there. I mean, it's obviously there's something in the glass, but from the color, but from the aroma, yeah, it's more just probably yeah, and it's really more of what I would, if you gave this to me blindfold and said, hey, here's a wheat beer, try it, I probably wouldn't say anything out of the ordinary from strawberry being in here. So interesting. Yeah, real puzzling. So yeah, now I'm kind of talking myself into smelling a little bit of what I would think of a strawberry aroma in here. Probably more of a kind of an artificial strawberry type aroma. One of my favorite candy is the Runts candy, and if you ever had the strawberry Runts, it tastes nothing like a strawberry. But it has kind of a very distinct kind of retro nasal that I think I might be picking up in here. Yeah, it's interesting. All right, cheers. Let's go for a sip. Wow. The mouthfeel is what got me right off the bat. It's, it's a very, probably more than a medium, what is it? Would we say medium high mouthfeel? I wouldn't say it's really syrupy, but I'm assuming it's from the syrup being added. It's really giving it kind of a thick, upfront kind of mouthfeel that honestly from a wheat beer is not terribly pleasant. It doesn't really have that kind of drying, go in for another sip type flavor or mouthfeel. More appropriately, now that I had a sip, got a bit of retronasal through, and now that I'm smelling the aroma, smelling it again, I'm kind of like putting one and two together with that kind of strawberry flavor that's in here. Yeah, it comes off as really sweet too, to me, to be honest with you. The bitterness and the hops that are in there, it's in there, and it's kind of, it seems like it's really at odds with just the kind of sweetness. I mean, maybe if in this example, if the IBUs were a bit higher, it might help a little bit, but it's it's really kind of a really beefy mouthfeel for a wheat beer, not gonna lie. But yeah, that one was a little bit more pleasant for me, that sip. Maybe I'm adjusting to the sweetness a little bit. You know, it is kind of really lingering around in the back of my tongue when I sip on this. It's like it's weird. I get like sweetness, full mouth feel. I'm not really noticing much of the malt at this point, because the kind of the mouthfeel, artificial strawberry characteristics are really dominant over the base beer. And then when it finishes, I get a bit of bitterness, and then I go back to getting kind of like a sweet aftertaste. So it's a really puzzling one, but yeah, I'm not getting any kind of phenolics off flavors or anything like that. You can tell it's a really well-made beer. It's just, you know, we added the strawberry into it, and I think it really just changed the character. You know, the carbonation that's in there is really nice. It's we do have kind of a nice creaminess character going on here, but it's almost too creamy, if that makes sense, because it's creamy, and it has a, you know, a medium full mouthfeel for the beer that to me is just, you know, it really makes it kind of a bit of a sort of a puzzling experience, to be honest with you. All right, so let's go back here and let's shake up the dregs and see what we get in here. And not too bad. Maybe, you know, again, we get some haze back in here, and this is my process. Just taste it kind of clear as a, you know, you probably wouldn't in a competition. I don't know if you get an American wheat. I can recall from the American times I've judged a few American wheat beers. We didn't obviously pour the full glass, because when you're at the judging table, typically you're trying to save the rest of the bottle for a mini best of show in the first round. So again, that's typically has it would come across the table, if anyone cares. We do get some haziness back. Probably see, you can't really see my hand through it beyond, probably it looks more like a shadow. Aroma really hasn't changed. Yeah, and in this case, I don't really think it changed much for the mouthfeel. It's just kind of dominated by that full sweetness that kind of really knocks it off track of what I'd be looking for in a wheat beer. So I think that's about it. Excuse me as I clear things out. So regardless, great job, Andrew. Again, I could tell, you know, the base beer was fine. You know, the additive is probably a little overdone, I'm guessing, for kind of what skewing where the beer went, at least in my opinion. Like I said, the underlying base beer tasted fine. You did a fantastic job stabilizing the beer and making sure there was no re-fermentation going on. Because like I said, even though, you know, this traveled across the country, so to speak, Cincinnati to Massachusetts to Connecticut, it traveled quite a bit. It was in the refrigerator a long time, but frankly, you know, if there's something going on here, it was in a bottle long enough that we definitely would have told, and it just tasted super clean, just kind of thick for the style. So I think I will wrap it up there. So where do we finish off first? Interested in home brewing, you don't have a club because you're located somewhat remote, or you're not located by a bunch of other people that are into home brewing, or you've tried out local clubs and they didn't jive with you, come and give the Brewtubers a shot. Come jump into the Discord, come to brewtubers.com. Reach out to me if you have any questions about the club. I can point you to the Discord. Discord is the best way to join for free and get into the lobby and get a full dose to find out what the club's all about. We do these experiments and we talk amongst ourselves with lots of knowledge and information about home brewing. A lot of passionate folks are in the club. So there's that. That's my Brewtubers pitch as usual. And thanks to our sponsors, Beer and Wine Hobby, beer-wine.com if you're looking for the website. Great homebrew shop. They're closing all the time. Let's do We have one that supports the club. We try to support Beer and Wine Hobby, the malts in these beers, and the hops and the yeast. We all purchased through Beer and Wine Hobby and got free shipping. So a big thank you to Beer and Wine Hobby, and a big ups to 5 Star Chemicals for supporting the club. Us participants that are in the club, we got a few freebies, some Star San, sorry, not Star San, Santa Clean, which I use to no end. I use far more Santa Clean than I do Star San, to be frank, because I'm running everything through pumps and sip balls, and some PBW, which is a great cleaner. The PBW liquid, though oddly named, is fan-frickin-tastic. So that is it, and I forgot to give my opener, Nick, a short shout out for opening this video. Thank you, Nick, for coming along on this video tour with me and opening for the video. And I think that was it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.